about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really...
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with probably a slightly echoer setup. My desk and all of my stuff is gone behind me, so I apologize if the sound is off at all. I'm doing my best. We're gonna get through this. But I wanted to wrap you up on all the books I read in November. As always, there will be timestamps down below if you want to skip around at all, but first things first, of course, we gotta dive into my stats. I read a total of 24 books in November, amounting to 4,372 pages read. I read a lot of novellas, which we'll talk about in a minute. My average rating was a 4.04, which seems about right. I read 8 KU titles, 9 library books, had 4 rereads, which are all one comic series. I read 20 adult titles and 4 YA titles. Those 4 titles were also manga or graphic formats. And then the book breakdown is 8 ebooks, 10 audiobooks, 2 manga, and 4 graphic novels. And then I read a total of 13 new to me authors and 3 debuts. So that was great. I'm always trying to add to my new author list and reading new people to me. All right, let's dive right into all the books I read last month. Why is it not focused on me? There we go. Let's dive right in. I'm gonna try and go a little bit slower. I feel like I had to pause myself. I was starting to like speed talk because I'm on a time crunch, but we do have time to finish this. So I did not have any DNFs, 1 stars or 2 stars this month, so that's great. I did have a 2.5 star, which I spoke about in my mid-month wrap-up. This was Snow Day by Julie Lipton or something like that, Lipton. It's a skip, in my opinion, on the Audible Plus selection of books you could listen to. It really lacked substance. I talked more in depth about this in my mid-month. If you're really curious, go check that out. Then we move right into 3 stars, which I had 2 of, which I don't know. I feel like I had a very mixed reading month. I don't know how else to explain it. But those were Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, which is not a bad book by any means. But Well Met was so good and I loved it so much that I skipped book 2 after everyone said they hated it. And I skipped straight to book 3, Well Matched. And it just was lacking some of the magic that I had in Well Met. And I felt like our hero Mitch like deserved better. I really liked some of the family dynamic stuff that happened in this book. But overall, I don't know, something was missing and I don't know what that something was for me. And I saw most of my friends, it's very wide range mixed reviews, even more than the second book. Like almost everyone I know did not like the second book. So I'm gonna give Jen DeLuca another try with the 4th book in this series when that comes out. But right now, I don't know. Is she maybe not for me? Like, was Well Met a one-off? The other 3 star I had was Gilded Rose by Emma Hamm. This is my first Emma Hamm. It will not be my last. You may be like, you gave it 3 stars, what do you mean? But I knew going in that this was not her best work. Ava from Ava's Romance gave me a heads up about this before I read it. She was like, hey, FYI, I don't think this is her best work. So I knew that ahead of time. This one for me was one that I would not have finished if I was not listening to it on audio and if I was not doing a bunch of things around the house to get prepared for our house to go up. Sorry I keep talking about it, but like it's literally been my life for the last month. And yeah, because of that, I listened to the book and I finished it, but 100% would not have finished it otherwise. It just absolutely would not have happened. And that's okay. It just kind of lacked a good plot, in my opinion. It felt very like smashed together elements of Beauty and the Beast and not like a well thought out story that incorporated Beauty and the Beast themes. I hope that makes sense. Okay, one other 3-star read that I forgot a minute ago, so I'm inserting in here now, is Moon of the Crusted Snow by Wabushi Rice. I'm so bad. Anyways, I read this in my mid-month. I talked about it there. It's a really weird dystopian novella. It's gonna hit for a lot of people and it just was not for me, so that's that. Then we have my 3.5 stars. So we have Hana-kan Carries On by Uzma Jaluludi, something like that. I talked about this in my mid-month. I think this is a great one to pick up if you're interested in it. It is a really good book. It just had too much going on. Then we have Bound in Stone, which is by Stephanie Simpson. This was my least favorite of the monster books I read so far this month. Well, the month's over, you know what I'm saying. So that I read this month. It lacked some things that I wanted more of. I think it needed a little better fleshing out of the plot. I didn't enjoy the ex-husband plot line. I wanted more of like what was happening with the magic and the demon gargoyle dude. I go more in depth in this in my monster anthology review, part 1. I will have a part 2 out probably early January because I want to wait till the last book comes out so I can review the rest of them. Then my 4-star reads. Okay, we have Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. I talked about this in my mid-month, as well as Undercover Attraction by Katie Robert and 8 Winter Nights by Liz Maverick. So if you want more on those, that video. Then we have Love Laugh Lit by Kate Pryor. This one surprised me. Honestly, this was one of the ones that I didn't think I would like that much going in, which is not, I don't mean that like I thought it was gonna be bad. It was kind of a weird setup. So this one does also feature some interesting anatomy stuff, an interesting demon monster body situation, and this is a boss employee romance. She is the Lich's secretary, and it's really, really cute how it all unfolds, and I really liked it. I giggled quite a few times at it, and for me, that's always a win. More in-depth thoughts are obviously, I'm not gonna keep saying that. You know, if it's a monster romance, it's in that video. Outwitting the Devil by Renee Dahlia. I have a link in that video as well to this. This is a very short story. It is a sapphic romance about the devil and a woman who makes a bargain with the devil when her dog dies to be reunited, and the devil appears as a woman, and it's this whole thing, and it's delightful. Highly recommend. Then I read Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. Yeah, this surprised me. I honestly did not think I would like it as much as I did, and I actually feel like I would revisit it, which sounds weird, but this is a sapphic witch story where a girl goes back to her hometown. She has to run this competition, and she runs into one of the town like known lesbians, Talia, and they team up with someone else to help take down this like this family that's like always winning the competition, and the guy is like really shitty. So he kind of gets his comeuppance, and it just was really, really good. I really liked how it unfolded. I have a little bit of a crush on Talia personally. It was fun, and I had a good time while I listened to it. So if you're curious, I definitely think it's worth a check out. And so far, it's my favorite of the ones I've read of these contemporary ones, but I've not read that many. But yeah, it was a good time. Then I read Mirror Monster on My Wall by Tam McNiven. I think that's her last name. This is a Alice in Wonderland inspired, I would call it, romance harem. Alice has a group of monsters that come out of her mirror at night, and they give her pleasure, and she also gets help from them to escape a really shitty situation with her stepmom, and we follow that, and it is so, so good. I loved it. I really enjoyed this. I think it had such a great representation. I really liked how a lot of the story played out. The only thing I wanted was it to be like slightly longer, honestly, and that's saying a lot. And yeah, it just was a fun time. I couldn't visualize the monsters very well in my head because like they just were so unique that my brain like couldn't come up with how they look. But overall, I really, really, really enjoyed it. Then I didn't have any 4.5, so my 5 stars are the following. I talked about I'll Be the One by Lila Lee in my mid-month wrap-up. This was just absolutely delightful. Really enjoyed it. But I also finished Falling Into You on Kindle Unlimited, which I think I talked about, which is a sapphic Thanksgiving themed romance. That was also 5 star. And then my last 5 star was Yuri and the Yeti by Daphne Green. This honestly surprised me a whole bunch. This is a Men Loving Men story about a man Yuri, who goes off on a Himalayan mountain hike without his partner that left him and is like processing all this stuff. And during that hike, he falls down and hurts himself and passes out. And our Yeti finds him and carries him back to his cave and like caretakes for him. And it was so sweet and so cute, and I absolutely adored it. I did not think I would love this as much as I would. It's kind of a nice slow burn, and it's just very, very like sweet. And it still has dirt, like it still has sex in it and stuff. Like I don't mean sweet as in like clean. That's not, that terminology doesn't work here for me. But I mean sweet as like, it just kind of warmed your heart in that best, like awesome way. Then my 6 stars, if you're new here, a 6 star for me is any book that stands out so much that it's definitely going to be on my favorites of the year list. And I had 2 this month, which is great. I've not been having a ton. I need to utilize this better next year because I did not do a great job this year utilizing it. I think I kind of forget about it sometimes. But yeah, I had 2 this month. So first we had Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This was everything I wanted. This is our reverse Grumpy Sunshine. So she's the grump and he's the sunshine. This follows Aiden and Stella. Aiden runs a big department store in the city, New York City. And he needs someone to redo the windows. And Stella applies and like critiques the windows in front of him and doesn't know that it's him. And he like gives her the job and she's like, it's this slow build romance that is just so good. If you don't like Boss Employee, it's not going to work for you. But for me, Aiden was everything. I'm dying for the audiobook because I want to listen to this. Like I want to do a reread where I listen to it when it comes out because it just was so good. Absolutely loved it. I'm starting to feel like the reverse, like the female is grumpy and the male is sunshine, is like becoming my new fave version of the trope, which is interesting. But it's one of my fave tropes. Big shocker. I talk about it all the time. The next book that was on my 6-star list is The Demon Next Door by Chase Verity. I loved Deal with the Demon. That you're welcome. I got a ton of y'all to read it. I know that. So make sure you're picking up The Demon Next Door. This follows Molly, a single mom, recently divorced, and a single demon dad that moves in next door. And she's like teaching him how to human, kind of, and do things. And it's really cool. Really loved it. This is definitely like low plot, semi-low angst, and all vibes. One of my friends' reviews was like, this book is just vibes. And I 100% agree. It is all just a good time. And I love it so much. I just need more. I need more demons from Chase Verity like this because these just like, I could just inject them into my veins. Like they are just that good. They're so fun. They're so goofy in like the best way. And it's all I want in the world is more demon neighborhood antics from Chase Verity. So the last section I have is manga and comics. I want to talk about the 2 volumes of manga I read this month, which is Oharu Ride volumes 10 and 11. They were 3 and 4 stars respectively. I have the last 2 volumes that I'm going to finish December 1 for 25 days of manga. First thing I'm finishing is that. So I'll be reading those and I'm very excited about it because I like this series, but I also hate this series. I don't hate it. Hate's a strong word because I wouldn't be continuing it if I hated it. But I have some qualms with the way the plot is unfolding and the male love interest. I just want to punch. So there's that. But yeah, I'm excited to finish it and see where it lands for me. I definitely see a lot of mixed thoughts on it. So that'll be interesting. The other thing I read that is comics is Saga's volume 1 through 4. If you've never read Saga, I want to give a big content warning here for like graphic content in this comic. I about called it a manga. Use of slurs in these comics. They are dated and I've discussed it many times. I discussed volumes 1 and 2 in my mid-month, and then the last half of the month I read volumes 3 and 4. The live show just happened. If you want to watch it, it's over on Bookish Realms channel. But I gave the second volumes 3 and 4 stars respectively, both. So I gave volumes 3 and 4 stars. I really enjoyed them. I really love where the story is going still. I've forgotten a lot of it, so this is great in preparation for the next volume to drop in January, and I've already pre-ordered my digital copy so I can read it that day. I'm very excited. I love Saga. It is a space opera adventure, and I think it's one of those comics that like is really a good gateway for a lot of people because it's got so much going on and a lot of elements that we all love. But yeah, it was a good time. That is everything I read this month. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. I'm sorry if I did. I'm in literally time crunch right now, big times. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your favorite book you read in November. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave me a car emoji because we are driving right out of this year and I cannot wait for 2022. So leave me that car because we're just gonna speed on through December. And I will be back to talk to y'all in just a few days. There are links to all of those books in that description box, as well as links to be my friend on the internet. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.